Now I'm just going to hand you over to Paulie O'Brien, who's a GDA in Cork, and he's going to go through breaks and lunch.
Hi everyone, how you doing? As Charlie said there, my name is Paddy O'Brien and I'm from Cork. So basically what I'm going to go through here is what we're going to put it into action here in Cork as regards breaks and the lunch. This year, rather than the one long break, we're going to divide it up into 3 short 15-minute breaks. This gives us more time, obviously, to divide the groups up so that there's no one big group having their lunch at one particular time. We're obviously staggering the breaks. So hopefully, if possible, with every group will be allocated in an area where they have those breaks in advance of the camp, so that all coaches are aware of where they should take the kids for their breaks. Social distancing obviously has to be adhered to during this period. So that's obviously the 2 meters. All breaks should happen in the open air, or a stand area where social distancing can be adhered to. Okay. Now, obviously, not everybody is going to have the big, huge stands, lads. So let's use a bit of common sense there. So if you're with a small stand, keep them out in the open air. Don't bring them underneath on the stand, because obviously there won't be enough room. The breaks should take place where possible within the group's designated zone. So here in Cork, what we're hoping for is that we'll designate a zone to each group at the start of the day. That's where they will stay for the day. So they will bring their bags into that zone, and when it's break time, they will just go to their bags, take out their water, take out their sandwiches, whatever they have, and have it in that zone. Rain breaks can only take place if the complex has an outdoor stand area where social distancing can be adhered to. So if it starts raining and you don't have a stand area where you can practice social distancing, then keep them out in the rain. They cannot go anywhere where social distancing is not being practiced. All their hands must be sanitized or washed before and after eating or drinking. So what we're going to do in Cork here is we're going to give every coach will have a sanitizing gun. So before they eat, before they go on any breaks, he will sanitize their hands as they leave him, and he will also sanitize their hands as they come back. Okay? All breaks must be supervised to ensure social distancing and hand sanitizing is taking place. So that's when it comes to the coaches. Okay, so when the kids go on their lunch breaks, the coaches can't go on their lunch break at the same time. Somebody has to be there to monitor them all the time to make sure that they're adhering to the social distancing, and obviously that when they're starting and finishing, that their hands are sanitized. So when we're talking about the breaks, lads, it's using common sense. It's following the guidelines set out by the HSE, but we're trying to make it as easy as possible for us as coaches and coordinators to keep the camp running. So the next thing I'm going to talk about is the equipment. Okay, obviously helmets, hurleys, and gum shields cannot be shared. Okay, under no circumstances. I know we have a habit in the past that if somebody came without a hurley, that look, you will share hurleys or we share helmets. That cannot happen this year under no circumstances. Okay, the coach is helping. If a coach is helping a child to put on a helmet or tying shoelaces or whatever, if there's close contact with a child, that coach has to put on a face mask and gloves. Okay? When he's tying a helmet, preferably tie it from behind the child. Okay, so that you're not breathing into their face. Okay, so that you're actually behind them. Once you use the gloves must be put into a rubbish bin immediately. Gloves can only be used once. Okay? Very important that we take this into account, that we can't be using the same gloves over and over again. All the equipment that is given out at the start of the day must remain within the group's designated zone for the full day of camp. We cannot go around swapping equipment. So again, in the past, we might have had footballs in 2 or 3 areas and then we'd swap them over to the other areas. That cannot happen. Okay. If at the beginning of the day, we recommend that all the coaches get enough footballs and slitters and whatever they require so that they can do both activities when they want to do them, so that they don't have to look for equipment from anybody else. And I suppose at the end of the day, all equipment must be sanitized, right? So basically at the start and at the end of each day, the equipment is spotless, okay? So the tips for sanitizing, I suppose, this is one Charlie came up with in his own club, where they have a drum of half full with disinfected water. So basically, all that happens is at the end of the day, they dip the footballs or they dip your slitters or your hurleys or whatever you have, you dip them into the disinfected water, and away you go. So again, lads, common sense has to prevail here. We've got to follow the HSE guidelines with everything. Remember, no sharing under any circumstances of anything. Okay? It all sounds like an awful lot of hard work. It won't be. Once day one is done, lads, you will all relax. We'll all get on with it, and it'll be like any other camp. The most important thing is we'll try and have a bit of fun in the day and enjoy it. So thanks, lads. Enjoy the summer, the next couple of weeks, and hopefully everything will go okay for us.
Okay, Paudie, thanks a million for that. Some sound advice there. And I suppose, as we've said for all the presentations, this is real practical advice, and this is what each of the counties are doing. So in this case, this is what Cork is doing. Maybe your county will not be doing some of these things, but the guiding principles from the HSE and the GA advisory group must be followed. Thanks, Paudie.